There's only one tire brand that can call itself legendary. Rebirthed from the depths of Baja and representing decades of racing heritage, Mickey Thompson Tires announces a new American mud terrain legend. This dominating tire is purpose-built for thrill seekers everywhere. The new Baja Legend MTZ. It's time to get what you really want in a tire. Silica reinforced T4 tread compound for enhanced wet performance. PowerPly 3-ply construction for sidewall protection and responsive handling. Improved 4-pitch side biters for bold looks and off-road grip. Proven MTZ tread styling for undisputed traction. 35 different sizes, and one is just waiting for your rig. Gear up and roll with the American mud terrain legend, the Baja Legend MTZ.
What is up, everybody? I am Matthew Holt. You are now watching the live draw of our 4th race of the season. We'll be racing at Hot Springs, Arkansas. In Arkansas, Hot Springs, April 14th and 15th. We're going to be racing near Horsepower Hill. They have some new hills carving out for us. Clyde said he'll be there Wednesday morning, get everything set up, but they're having a new area near Horsepower Hill for those of you who have been there before. It's going to be pretty exciting. We won't be racing on Showtime Hill, so that'll be fun. This will be our 4th race of the season. We had 3 races already. The first one was at Windrock, which normally we do Texas. We kind of changed it up this year a little bit. Went to Windrock. It's always a lot of fun. This year was kind of interesting. Had some kind of changed it up a little bit with some more challenging courses this year. Same course we usually race. It just became a lot more challenging. And again, first race of the season, I think everybody kind of got the bugs worked out. Second event was BMR. I had a blast. I think everybody else did. There was a lot of fun with the being the crowd there. Kind of interesting to with the crowd with being our event tied with BMR. So again, that was a lot of fun. Third one race was at Wildcat, which was last weekend. I think most everybody had a pretty good weekend there. Obviously, the guys race the Bounty Series. It's a little more intense because they race the same course the Bouncer race, which is a pretty gnarly course this time. It was a lot of fun. I told people ahead of time. I did very well. I was very thankful. But I told people ahead of time it's a lot of fun course. It really is a good time. This will be our last race. Again, this will be April 14th and 15th at Hot Springs, Arkansas. This will be our last race before our summer break. I added them up right for this. Our summer break is 94 days. So that'll be plenty. It's literally just a shade over 3 months to get that way you can get your summer vacations worked in. I know a lot of the wives and girlfriends and moms and grandmas always appreciate getting their summer vacation worked in, as well as usually it's the halfway point of the season now. This will be 4 races out of 10, so we're not quite through the halfway point of the season, but it's always nice to get halfway through the season and get, that way it gives guys time to rebuild some cages, some chassis, rebuild suspensions or motors or transmissions. So I got some cool stuff I'm going to get done in that 94-day window. And then we have right after our 90-day window, we come back. We have 3 races within like 30 days. So we come back, we hit it hard, and then I think we're about like once every 3 weeks, and then the last 2 races fall in October. So that'll be interesting. When we come back, our first one will be at Good Evening Ranch. That is in West Virginia. That'll be July 21st and 22nd. Lots of big rocks. I have never been to this park. I've heard good things about it. I'm excited about going to it. Justin Wills has been there. He was there just hanging out, wheeling, have some good fun. They came around, and I guess it's like a mountaintop that's been cleared off, and that's where all the parking, camping, and I guess there's a bar and a restaurant, some other stuff, campsites. It's all right on top of the mountain, and then you just wheel all the way around the mountain is where all the course you race at or play at or whatever. So he said they were out wheeling, came up, popped up, and then right in front of them was a wedding happening. So be careful when you're there. There's all kinds of fun stuff going on. Top 10. I'll tell you what, we'll do the drawing for the bouncers. I'll run through top 10 first. Top 10. Again, we have 3 races. Windrock, BMR, and Wildcat. So this is our top 10 as it stands. Again, it's been shaken up quite a bit. Number 1 is Brandon, sitting at 264 points. Wade, who absolutely showed out on the second course. For those of you who haven't watched it, go back and watch the second course of Wildcat. It was pretty insane. He flat drove the wheels off. And again, came up, talked to me and Bree during the first course after his run and said, you know, playing safe and being points hunting and doing all that stuff is a lot of fun. He said, but heck with that. I'm here to have a good time. I'm going to drive all out the rest of the season and just show out. Either win or lose, I'm going to lay it all on the line. The second course, Brandon had like a 94 or 95, and so Wade was going to have to run 94 to beat him. Me and Bree were kind of chatting, talking. We were discussing in the booth. We were kind of picking on a lot of the people online, saying, you know, what do you think the fastest time is going to be? Is Wade going to beat him? Wade shot up the hill, came down and launched off that big rock ledge. Cleared it very well. I at that point was like, okay, that's a 1 to 2 second time saver there, so he's probably at 94, maybe 93, and then Wade smoked it with an 84. So again, 10 seconds faster than Brandon, which put him in the first place for that day, and again, absolutely just set the tone for, you know, rock bouncing. So a huge shout out to Wade and absolutely coming out and just killing it. Wade's at 260, so he's sitting in second place at 260. Right behind him is Daniel with 242, again, right there behind him, Daniel Heckley. That's your top three. That's your podium so far for the season, 3 races in. Jay Storch with 216, right behind Daniel. Again, those two battle it out. Cooper Bentley. I am so geeked to watch Cooper this season. That dude has come out. It's kind of funny because he's so quiet, refined. Yes, sir, no, sir. Comes out and absolutely crushes it. Sitting in 5th place right now for the season, so top 5 at 216 as well. So Jay and Cooper are tied for points. So technically 4th place is a tie, which then you go by combined times for the season. So right now 4th and 5th place are tied with 216 points, which I think is kind of neat. Justin Wills at 188. Again, he had a couple DNFs at this last race. Had a rough time. Was trying to upright it, just couldn't get it done. So I think he's going to come out and try to hammer down, kind of like Wade, the rest of the season. Ethan Jones sitting at 7th place for 173. Randall Keys. Randall Keys has a back injury or something, and I was kind of talking a little about it, and he explained it, and so he's not been cleared to come back to race yet, so he's had a couple guys drive for him. Josh Parrish drove for him at Wildcat, came out and did a great job driving, absolutely had a great run. So that put Randall up in 8th place with 157. Colby Reich, again, with that 8-up chassis, has new chassis, literally had 3 minutes of driving time before he raced it at Windrock this year. Came out and has been killing it, sitting in 9th place. And luckily, with my last 2 races, I was able to squeak in somehow with that top 10. Again, that's your top 10 drivers for the season so far. Again, we're 3 races in, getting ready to go into this weekend at Hot Springs. So I'm excited about this weekend. Again, we'll be racing near Horsepower Hill, but it's not quite near Horsepower Hill. I mean, it's not Horsepower Hill, but it'll be near there. Clyde said they're working on some stuff. This race will be presented by Spyder OffRoad. Again, that's Clyde's shop. For those of you who don't know, he has an off-road shop, so he's presenting this race. I'm going to start with bouncers. We have 19 rock bouncers. John Campbell is another guy that hopped in there. He emailed me earlier this week and said he was joining with us. I don't know if he's hopped in the chat yet. What's up, Don Curtis? Bobby Upchurch, Mark Giles, handful of guys hopping in there. We're going to go and draw those. Again, we got 19 drivers, and I'm going to draw them. Okay, here we go. Start with Wade Good, number 5. Let's show everybody. There we go, number 5 for Wade Good. Next is Trent Radcliffe, number 3 for Trent Radcliffe. Next is Randall Keys, number 6 for Randall Keys. Next is Mark Carpenter, number 17 for Mark Carpenter. Next is me. Oh, number 4. Next is me, number 4. Justin Wills, number 10 for Justin Wills. Again, John Campbell, he is the Taz buggy. Number 2, sorry, buddy. Again, John races the Taz buggy. It's a turbo buggy. It's pretty radical. Next is Jay Storch, 14 for Jay Storch. Jack Porter, who has absolutely been crushing it this season. I love you, Jack. Number 1. I love you. He's been doing a great job this season. That buggy absolutely roars. Ethan Martin, Number 7 for Ethan Martin. Ethan Jones, number 9. Again, Ethan Jones has done very well this season. We were talking suspension, me and Paul Wolf and Justin Wills, and a few of them were talking shop. Justin's birthday, so on Saturday night we had tacos. They went and got a couple 100 pounds of taco stuff, so a bunch of us sat around and ate tacos, and that was a really good time. And Ethan Jones and Ethan Martin was there, and Paul Wolf, and we were having just suspension chat, and Paul was kind of schooling off some stuff they're working on the big car with, and it was really neat to talk to him, which we'll talk a little bit about here in a minute. DC Thompson, number 18. Number 18. Daniel Heckley, number 19. Daniel Bowman, number 16. Daniel Bowman, I'm excited to see Daniel run. Again, they had some issues getting the big car put back together, and they were trying to drop ship parts to BMR, and long story short, they should have it back together. Again, they did some work to it, and they should have, again, his son-in-law ran the Outlaw chassis, so I think they'll probably have two events, 2 vehicles of this race. Maybe one, maybe not, we'll see. Did a great job. We're excited to see him come out in that Gold Rush Reclaim buggy. I think he's going to do just fine. He has a lot of Suzuki Samurais they do a ton of crawling with. He has like a fleet of them, he said. They go out and crawl and have a blast. So a huge off-roader, just hasn't necessarily got the dialed in with the big rock bouncer, which anybody who says it's really easy to drive a rock bouncer of that caliber, I think, is kind of silly. So I think it'll take him a little bit to kind of get dialed in, feel it out, and I'm excited to see what he's going to do this season, because I think once he gets comfortable, he'll be pretty rowdy with it. Cooper Bentley, number 15. Again, Cooper's crushing it this season. Colby Reich, number 8 for Colby Reich. Clint Garrison with that Garrison Racing team, 13. So that means he'll get to have some choices. Chris Griggs, number 12 for Chris Griggs. And Brandon Davis, number 11 for Brandon Davis. I seen Cheryl posted a house they were going to rent earlier this week. I wonder if that's their house. I'll have to ask when I see them at the next race. All right, VIN class. We got 3 guys. 1, 3, 2. We'll draw VIN class. VIN class is a lot of fun. Again, for those of you guys who watched Charles, Chris, and Don send it at the last race, and Justin, those guys all send it pretty hard. It was a lot of fun, and I think they are definitely starting to embody what we want from the VIN class, and it's always a lot of fun to watch the Cherokees come out. I'm excited for the VIN class. I know Dex came out and raced a little last year. I've been watching his TikToks lately for his Cherokee stuff. I'm excited, and hopefully we can get him with some guys out racing some Cherokees with us this season. I think that will be a lot of fun. We'll draw the VIN class real quick. Charles Chris, number 3. Don Curtis, number 2 for Don Curtis. And Justin Holback will be number 1. Next we'll do UTV Cup, and there's 13 of those guys. Give me 1 second. Let me dip those out. Okay, I think I got them all. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13. Okay. UTV Cup. I'm going to tell you a funny story while I get all these flipped over. UTV Cup, we went to do awards for UTV Cup at Wildcat. We were doing awards for that. Got all done, and we were done with the awards. Getting ready to move on, I think, to Bounty. And we had a little bit of an issue. Someone brought to our attention that our calculations were not correct. So we went ahead and did the rest of the awards, then we came back and we started looking at it to figure out what the problem was. Paul Wolf, who raced with us, we did not put his numbers incorrect, and we had a 5. So the first course he won, we had put a 5 instead of 5-0 for his points. And the second course, we put 5-0, so his total was 55 points, when it should have been 100 points. So I hugely apologize to Paul Wolf, and later on I apologized again. I said, I'm so sorry. That's our bad. And luckily, he said, and he was very, very nice and loving. He said, you know what, it's okay. He goes, I understand. Mistakes happen. I felt horrible about it. And he said the funny thing was Brandon was the one who actually brought it up and was like, hey, aren't you supposed to be on the podium? So I thought it was kind of funny, kind of amusing. But again, we apologize. We never claim to be perfect, and anytime we do make a mistake, we appreciate you guys being patient and loving with us, and we appreciate anybody who has an issue. Call us out. I have no problem correcting something. Sometimes me and Bree on the live feed will say something about a chassis or a driver or something, and I have no problem correcting something I said that's not true or incorrect. Again, we always want to do our best job at that, so a huge shout out to Paul Wolf coming out racing. He raced a couple classes with us and had a lot of fun afterwards hanging out, so I appreciate that, and he did absolutely crush it in the UTV Cup, so good job for him. We have 13 drivers in the UTV Cup. We'll run through those. We're starting with Adam Kuntz. Adam Kuntz had a Big Rock Bouncer, and he used to race a side-by-side as well. Sold those. The Riot buggy is gone, and he has bought a side-by-side since then. He sent me some pictures this week. Sent me some pictures of it and said he was going to race. I don't know what else he's racing. I don't know if he's just going to race that. I heard through the grapevine he's going to try to do some Ultra 4 stuff as well. I don't know if he's going to stick with just rock bouncing, so we'll get some more. We might get him on the interview. Me and Bree can hop and interview him and chat with him a little bit to see what he's going to do. We'll start with UTV Cup. Adam Kuntz. Number one, buddy. Number one, straight out the gate. Again, he'll be coming out and playing with us, so I'm looking forward to that. Brandon Davis. Number 6 for Brandon Davis. Casey Howe, number 8, Casey Howe. Clay Kaysen, number 12 for Clay Kaysen. Again, the Kaysen boys have been absolutely crushing it all season. Number 11, they have been absolutely just straight up putting it down. Cooper Bentley, number 10. Cooper raced with us and did very well on side-by-sides as well. Dan Carter, Dan, number 13 for Mr. Dan Carter. Yeah, Dan races like a dozen machines in our races in like 27 different classes. Like he's crushing it right now. 2, he picked up a semi last year, so he's been doing some semi hauling. 2 is for the DC Thompson. DC Thompson, Dan Carter was 13, DC Thompson was 2. 7, Madison King is 7. Again, the Kings also been crushing it last season. It was really awesome to watch them kind of cheer each other on. Again, we got Nathan on the broadcast talking about him having a wild run. So again, definitely part of that skinny pedal. Nathan was cheering on for that skinny pedal, so he's definitely got to be way up in the running. Mark Carpenter, number 4 for Mark Carpenter. Next is Nathan King, number 5 for Nathan King. Madison was 7, Nathan's 5, so she will actually get to sit and watch him run on both courses, so that'll be fun. Robert Trainer, number 9. Robert, what is up? I've been watching his TikToks too. He's been posting stuff. I made a joke on the live feed about Megan Trainer, who's a singer. I was like, I wonder if it's Megan's brother. And so I made a joke unrelated, and then I started commenting on his TikToks, which was pretty funny. Tyler Bradley, number 3. Again, Tyler, one of our season drivers, comes out and always gives 100%. Bounty, UTV Bounty, we have 8 of those. So 13, 12, 11, 10, 9. We have 8 of those for the UTV Bounty. And again, UTV Bounty, I always have a lot of... I say this all the time, but I don't think I can stress it enough. I have so much respect for the UTV Bounty guys because they come out and thrash their machines and give their machines heck, put it full tilt, and they race the same course the Bouncer does. They have way less suspension travel, way less horsepower, way smaller tires, and they still come out and come out with a gusto and really put it down hard. So I have a lot of respect for those guys who really come out and put it down. We got 8 of them. Clint Strain, number 4 for Clint Strain. Cody Kaysen, number 5 for Cody Kaysen. Dan Carter, number 6 for Dan Carter. DC Thompson, number 3 for DC Thompson. Again, DC has also been crushed at the season. Number 1 for Jed McCullough, who just sent me a friend request, actually. I need to respond to him. Madison King, number 7. That's funny. Madison had 7 on the UTV Cup. And we already drew number 5, so we know Nathan won't be the same. Number 2 for Nathan. So that'll be fun. So he'll get to watch his sister run on the first course, and then she'll watch him run on the second course. Tyler Bradley, number 8 for Tyler Bradley. Again, Tyler's been helping crush it this season. UTV stock class, we also have 8 of those as well. I had a note here. I want to give a shout out. It is Easter and all, so happy Easter, everybody. Again, he is risen. High five. Appreciate that. RPN Ministries had an event last weekend, I think it was. And Alex Sanders, who is a good old boy who has raced for a long time. He races a buggy called the Rib Cage. He was out at BMR and raced the Bounty Hill. Put a turbo on his buggy recently, and he has been sending that buggy for a long, long time. So I have a lot of respect for that dude. He's a good old boy. I like seeing him race. He never has any problem just hammering down on it. So he won their bounty series, which was a 10 grand bounty. So huge congratulations to RPM Ministries for putting that on, and Alex for walking away with that 10 grand. I know he could appreciate it. I saw him, he had some new boots. He went and got some new boot goofing the next week. So huge shout out to Alex, and glad he came out and glad he won that. Makes me happy. Next we'll do UTV stock. I see Adam Kuntz's name on there as well. Number 5 for Adam Kuntz. Brandon Davis, number 1. Cheryl's husband. He did well for the last race. What's up, Jonathan Shepard? Braden Upchurch, number 2 for Braden Upchurch. Clay Magnum, number 8. Number 8 for Clay Magnum. Dan Carter, number 6. Number 6 for Dan Carter. Again, Dan racing a bunch of classes out there. Daniel Heckley, number 7 for Daniel Heckley. Jay Storts, number 3 for Jay Storts. And number 4 for Justin Holback. Again, Justin races that full body, that big 4-seater that looks like a monster truck ripping around the course after you watch a bunch of stock class guys go. So it's always fun to watch that. And Justin usually does pretty well. Next, we got UTV Youth Class. UTV Youth Class. We got 7 of those. I know I say our UTV class is cute, but they are really absolutely adorable to watch. So for those of you to always take time to watch our youth class, come out to one of our races in person, check it out. Again, we're going to kind of be all over for the next 7 races. We got this one this weekend in Arkansas. We still have Alabama, West Virginia. I think we have another Kentucky, Oklahoma, Tennessee. We got Dyersburg coming up. So we're going to be kind of scattered over. Come out, watch our youth class. It is really, really neat to watch those guys cheer on. So definitely do that. The UTV class, we got Ava Garner, number 6. Ava did an amazing job with her interview with Speed Sport earlier this year. It was really, really neat to watch her do an interview. She was very classy, did an amazing job. I'm not saying her dad maybe gave her some pointers. He does our announcing for us at our races, and he is pretty ornery for those of you who haven't seen, so we always appreciate him and all he does for us. Next is Blake Heckley with 7. Brentley Havens, Mr. Cowboy Hat himself, number 5. He usually is hanging out, got a cool AL8 walking around with. Clara Holback, number 1 for Clara Holback. Again, she's part of that Holback racing team. Dallas Heckley, number 4 for Dallas Heckley. Gatlin Wills, number 2 for Miss Gatlin Wills. And then Ramsey Trainer, number 3 for Ramsey Trainer. All right, that concludes our drawings. I will get them posted up on the driver page. The driver page, again, the season driver page. Clyde will also have the running order the day of the event, so if you guys need them, or if you're not sure, message me. I've had a few people messaging me about running order, or if we're drawings, how late can you register. Typically, if we're doing a drawing on a Sunday, you have up until, I believe, 5 to do it. I think sometimes Clyde will kind of wait till 5:30 just in case there's a few people having technical issues at the last minute. He typically will cut off entry fees at 5 o'clock on the Sunday we do the drawings, and then he'll email the list usually like 7 o'clock. I'll try to get stuff ready on my end, getting everything on my end prepped. It's about 7 o'clock, 7:15. He'll send me the list, and then I'll get everything printed off so I can do my running order on there, make some notes for stuff. So you have until 5 o'clock. After that, it's considered late entry. That kind of helps with just keeping our end kind of, easy and lined up with all the racers. So it's kind of nice if you guys can get those entry fees in a little early. Shootout, I'm wearing my shootout shirt, Ultra 4 Southern Rock Racing Series. The shootout kind of started on a West Coast event, kind of as an East Coast versus West Coast, Rock Bouncers versus Ultra 4 cars. it's always kind of a fun way to kind of bash the East Coast guys and West Coast guys, rock bouncers of Ultra 4 cars. This year, a rock bouncer guy won it. Paul Wolf won it this year in his big car. He was in an Ultra 4 car, but he kind of grew up and cut his teeth on rock bouncing with his side-by-side on the East Coast. So I'm going to say that was a win for rock bouncers. So that's pretty awesome. I always like them. The shootout does awesome stuff. So huge shout out to those guys who help with the shootout. It's a very, very fun event to watch. I know a ton of rock bouncer guys from the East Coast watch it. Me and Ian, the last couple of years, have got to do the broadcasting for that, and it's an absolute blast in person. And then usually once we get everybody cleared on all our production stuff off the hill, everybody else hops out there, and it's interesting to watch some of those guys hit the courses. There's some clapped out Toyotas and Cherokees that do pretty well, and at the same time there's some interesting crashes too, which is always a lot of fun to watch other people break their stuff. But like I said, this will be April 14th and 15th, so this coming weekend, Friday and Saturday, we'll do side-by-sides and stuff on Friday, big bounces on Saturday. It'll be at Hot Springs, Arkansas, near Horsepower Hill, for those of you who are familiar with the park. I think entry will be the same gate. I'm not sure where they're going to park all the rigs for parking. I'm going to guess it's going to be right there in that top area where a lot of us parked, in that big kind of grassy knoll on top of the hill where we were at last time. Yeah, top 10 still pretty tight. It'll be interesting to see how things start unfolding the series as the season rolls. I've been very excited. You know, with Timmy not racing this year, kind of leaves open gaps for things to get filled in. And so far we've seen, people, bump to the top, and then we've seen people tumble to the bottom. So it'll be interesting to see how it kind of shakes out. I'm super excited. I'll give everybody a few more minutes to see if there's any questions, comments, concerns. I usually see a few emails, or I had a few people messaging me to see if we're doing the drawing tonight. It's because it was Easter. I figured everybody would be home, by now, by 8 o'clock. I know a lot of people do family stuff on Easter, so we gave everybody time to kind of get home. It's 8 o'clock Central Time, 9 o'clock Eastern Time. So, again, that's usually hopefully late enough to where we give everybody some free time. But, well, it looks like I don't see any questions. Don Curtis is in there. I got to give him a call about some transmission stuff. We're going to try to get some transmission beefed up stuff for his truck. So he's one of our VIN class racers. He always does an amazing job. So huge shout out to all our VIN class racers. He was our season champion last year. Well, without that, I will sign off here, and we will see you guys later.
There's only one tire brand that can call itself legendary. Rebirthed from the depths of Baja and representing decades of racing heritage, Mickey Thompson Tires announces a new American mud terrain legend. This dominating tire is purpose-built for thrill seekers everywhere. The new Baja Legend MTZ. It's time to get what you really want in a tire. Silica reinforced T4 tread compound for enhanced wet performance. PowerPly 3-ply construction for sidewall protection and responsive handling. Improved 4-pitch side biters for bold looks and off-road grip. Proven MTZ tread styling for undisputed traction. 35 different sizes, and one is just waiting for your rig. Gear up and roll with the American mud terrain legend, the Baja Legend MTZ.